каким красивым городом становится Аддис-Абеба.
We see how dynamically Ethiopia have been developing over recent years and how beautiful Addis Ababa is becoming.
Фактически за несколько лет создан благоприятный инвестиционный климат.
Over these years, there has been created a favorable investment climate in Ethiopia.
Большая министерская встреча саммита Россия-Африка в Сочи.
This year, Ethiopia has joined the BRICS Association. This ministerial summit of BRICS concluded its work in Sochi.
И мы уверены, что наш бизнес-форум
And we do believe that this forum gives us more possibilities to attract and draw to Ethiopia new investments, expertise, Russian technologies, and university science.
Я желаю всем участникам больших успехов.
Hello there, you're watching in English. This is our program, Diplomatic Corner. As usual, today we have brought to you a guest, is the Russian ambassador to Ethiopia, Evgeny Trihon. Today, a joint forum of Russia and Ethiopia held under the theme Economic Forum, Russia-Ethiopia, no time to waste. So we're going to talk about this particular forum and the cooperation areas of the two countries, and also the role of the BRICS towards boosting the relationship between the two countries. Stay with us. Well, Ambassador, thank you for your time. I really appreciate for your willingness to respond to my questions.
Thank you for addressing.
Let's start with this one. This particular forum is just Economic Forum, Russia-Ethiopia, held today, and under the theme, it's no time to waste. So tell us more about this forum.
This forum was initiated by two Russian organizations. One is Russian Chamber of Commerce, and another is Committee for Economic Cooperation with Africa. It is a public organization, AFROCOM. I think that the name of this forum was a bit misinterpreted during translation from Russian into English. If I were asked, I would translate it as Russia-Ethiopia, no time to waste. No time to lose. And this is really very essential theme for our economic cooperation and our economic and trade relations between our two countries. Because you see, we always know that our two countries have historical relations between them. We have very long, 126-year-old diplomatic relation. We have wonderful political contacts of contemporary life, and the main testimony to this are recent meetings between President Putin and Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed on the sidelines of Kazan summit. But at the same time, we are not going to limit ourselves only to diplomatic or to political contacts or relations. We believe that political, diplomatic, humanitarian, others contacts should be strongly supported and based on strong economic cooperation and developed trade between our countries. And here we have come across a loophole because after 1991 For a long time there was a period of stagnation of economic cooperation and trade between our countries. Only after 2010s this situation started a little bit step by step, slowly, but being fixed. Nowadays we have already got certain results. Our bilateral trade, for instance, has grown up, but still this growth is not stable. It is going up and down. One year it raises, the next year it may fall down. So we need to add stability to our bilateral trade. Or if, for instance, we take economic cooperation, we can remember that in 70s, 80s of the previous century, our country has assisted in executing around almost 50 different, mainly large-scale projects in Ethiopia, such as, for example, Melkovakana hydroelectric power station construction, or construction of electric power lines from Melkovakana to Kaliti, or oil depots which were installed in different corners of the country, construction of tractor assembly factory in Nazareth, now Adama. So there were just in 20 years there were around 50 big projects. But after 1991 we can't find a single one of that scale in our bilateral economic relationship. So
because of the change of the government?
Not only the change of government, but because both our countries were passing through very difficult periods of deep reconstruction and deep reforms and different changes. It's not a secret, everybody knows that there were problems with insecurity sphere in your country, the same as in our country. Let's remember the situation in Chechnya. We had to pass it, to overcome it, to find solutions. We were lacking, we were lacking money even at a certain time. But step by step, after 2010, we are starting to change and bettering this situation. For instance, let us take such sphere of cooperation as education. I can remember that in the 70s, 80s, every year about 600 to 700 Ethiopian students were sent for studies in our country. Do you know how many students were sent annually in 90s of the last century after these changes? No idea. I can tell you, every year we were accepting from 10 to 12 only.
All right.
After these changes, compared to 600 before. Yes. Now, starting from the last year, we are accepting about 100 every year, and we are going to enlarge these numbers. Now, as far as the situation in our country is getting better, and we believe that as soon as your country's situation is getting better, we can turn more actively to the revival of economic cooperation between our two countries. Maybe we are not in a position to start immediately from huge projects, but as our Chinese friends are saying, every long way starts from the first step. For instance, such step could be modernization and rehabilitation of Melkovakana electric power station. And this project is already being realized. Or another big step, maybe it may be not so visible, but we have already started good cooperation in the sphere of peaceful use of nuclear energy. And we hope that it will move forward. We are thinking about how to utilize Kelub natural gas depot, which was 40 years ago found by the then Soviet geologists, and many other directions. It's not easy. It's not easy, really. Sometimes we try to break through, but we have to retreat for different reasons. But nevertheless, I believe that we will be steadily moving forward in developing our bilateral economic cooperation and trade.
Let's talk about this particular forum. What is the objective of this forum?
Главная цель форума – создать не только дискуссионную площадку, но и выйти на...
The main purpose of this forum is not only to create the successful discussion platform, but also to establish successful B2B projects and within a year to be able to carry out the successful projects in such sectors of economy as digitalization, IT, machinery, agriculture. So this is the main purpose of this forum.
И вот это главная цель нашего форума.
What do you think the cooperation areas of the two countries between Ethiopia and Russia?
То, что мы видим из Москвы,
As we see it from Moscow, you have already established some favorable environment for business in Ethiopia, and you have established free trade zones, industrial parks, sectoral industrial parks. We want to study that, analyze it, and finally, the main purpose of our activity is to establish contacts with Ethiopian counterparts.
в Эфиопию, все это внимательно изучить.
How do you see the dedication of the Ethiopian government towards boosting the relationship between the two countries in various sectors?
Я полагаю, что эфиопское правительство сделало все условия.
I strongly believe that Ethiopian government has already established favorable conditions for Russian businessmen and Russian businesses. And the accession of Ethiopia to BRICS gave huge opportunities towards creating the system of unified legislation, payment system, and also the credit system. And I believe that the main focus is also the investments into people. Ethiopian government has already sent a great number of young students to Russia, and the Russian government is ready to expand the opportunities for the students, including incentives from the federal budgets for Ethiopian students. And these students will come back to Ethiopia as highly qualified specialists and will be ready to do business in the 21st century.
Государственные стипендии для эфиопских студентов.
Well, Ambassador, you've already answered my questions somehow, how that is the cooperation areas of the two countries. So let me just take you to the role of the BRICS towards boosting the relations between the two countries.
Well, Ethiopia's accession to BRICS, first of all, testifies to one main fact. This is the fact that our two countries may be called or characterized as likely-minded countries. Actually, BRICS is not a bloc. It is even not a structured organization. It does not have its secretariat or even charter. But it is just an assembly of likely-minded countries.
We can call it a group, or
Yes.
even authorities call it. Sometimes I heard that it is a bloc.
It's
a
not
group
block.
or
It's
a
no. It's
lesbian
not
group.
block. Usually, block means something which is first of all concentrated on defense and security.
All right.
But there are three pillars on which BRICS is basing. One pillar is politics and international security. Second pillar is economic cooperation. And the third pillar is humanitarian cooperation. And during the past years, BRICS Association, I prefer to call it association. We may call it as well as a BRICS group, but I personally prefer to call it association. So during the past years, BRICS Association has built a very complicated and very complicated architecture of cooperation in different spheres. And this year, during our presidency in BRICS, one of our main tasks was to help Ethiopia as well as other new members of BRICS to smoothly join this architecture of BRICS in different spheres. For instance, according to my calculation, during this year, Ethiopia has already participated in at least 80 different or even events of BRICS. Maybe even more, I don't know, because sometimes we are passing by our beyond our embassies.
Number of meetings and events.
Yes, practically every week we have some event.
All right.
And we are happy that our Ethiopian friends are not only actively participating in practically most of these events, but as my colleagues have noticed, they were participating with enthusiasm. And of course, it is a good stimulus for us to help even more to our friends to overcome difficulties of the initial stage. I'm sure that BRICS is becoming a very mighty platform for the global majority to find answers to the questions and challenges of the contemporary world. It does not mean that we're making friendship against somebody. No. As our president has said, BRICS is not anti-Western. It is just without West. Because you may see how Western powers are monopolizing their positions in different, especially not only military spheres, but especially in the economy and the finance spheres, to suppress the majority, the rest of the world. And BRICS is a reply to this suppression. BRICS is a way to build new, more just world, which will give all the peoples of the world really equal possibilities and rights to live as they like and to build their better future.
Well, Ambassador, thank you so much for your time. Just due to the time constraint, let's stop here. I hope I would meet you other times with other issues.
Thank you very much for approaching, and really you are mostly welcome at any mutually convenient time. I will be happy to see you.
Well, the one that's it for this diplomatic corner program. This was Russian ambassador to Ethiopia, Evgeny Trekhan. We talk about the relationship between the two countries and the forum, Russia-Ethiopia forum held here in Addis Ababa, and the role of the BRICS towards boosting the relation between the two countries. Until I meet you with another guest next week. Have a wonderful time.